All right, guys, fishing report, August 3rd. Two trips today. So, morning we went out. Brother's been fishing the last few days and tried to duplicate his success the last few days. Probably the toughest day we've had fishing all season. Um, just never found a level, a angle, a bait, or anything that wanted to work and be consistent for us this morning. Only a couple of wraps on kings, and then we did a pair of sixes today. So we burned 4 hours trying to figure the salmon out. Never figured them out. Tried east, west, north, south trolls and a few different ones in between. Never got them figured out. So we made the decision to sneak in and chase some brown trout, and those were fairly easy to come by. That being the one that slayed the most today. So the stinger, what is that? A UV mongoose, probably our best brown trout spoon. We also had this go once or twice. I think that's the gin and tonic. Brown trout today, or at least this morning, 65 to 70 seemed to be the best for us. Um, So we finished the day with a bunch of browns, one lake trout, a couple salmon, and that was about it. Talked to a bunch of guys this morning. There was a couple boats that got on them pretty good in the morning, but for the most part, guys struggled and kind of just put together a box best they could. By the end of the day, there was more than a few charter boats in there doing the brown trout gig. So 2 o'clock left for our second trip of the day. Started in 80 foot of water, just pointed it northeast, and worked ourselves out to 150, 160. Hit one salmon on a meat rig, turned around, tried to go back through there because we were marking some fish. No luck. So continued on down. Really hung out today, most of the day, down by the glass house. Turned around and made our way north, and then we ended up sneaking in a couple hours into the trip into, let's call it 90 foot of water, and it looked like it was time for stager fishing. There was multiple squadrons on the screen at all times. On our east troll, it was tough to keep a couple riggers in the water. We were pounding on them pretty good. Both riggers had meat rigs on them. We were fishing some rigged cut bait. So those were going pretty good. Got the divers going, but everything on the divers, I believe, was a lake trout. So no salmon on those divers. One was pulling a meat rig with a deep rig tackle strip. The other was pulling a chip with a fly behind it. And I think the only thing I could fish tonight was 350 copper, and that was on the Route 18. That's the double green-eyed ghost there. That took a lake trout. So better afternoon trip than a morning trip for us. And I'm thinking about going back there first thing in the morning and seeing if we can get on top of those salmon before they shut down. So there was salmon in there, there was bait in there. They were streaking all over the place. It really reminded me of like a Labor Day weekend type deal. You're in that kind of water. That's those fish are staging in, and maybe that's what they're doing. I don't know. Everything's kind of a little bit ahead this year. So, talked to a couple guys on my afternoon trip. One from Rochester. It sounds like Rochester has a really good bite still. Then I talked to a guy out of Alcott, and they seem to have a decent bite still. So maybe we're just hanging out in an area, or maybe there's just too much boat pressure. Who knows? But there's still hope that the fishing will get better. And let's be honest, it's the beginning of August, so we should have at least a month of good fishing ahead of us. Also, a buddy of mine did go offshore today. I think he hit the 30 line or maybe a little further. Not much action out there for him, which is unfortunate because that's that's where we all go this time of year when the inside bite gets tough. So hopefully that starts to turn on. But that's the August 3rd report up at Oak Orchard. If you did fish today, hopefully you had a better day than us. But I'm just telling you how it is. and we'll be back out in the morning. So let's hope those fish we found later this evening are ready to chew. So, all right, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll be back tomorrow.